Simple past tense, also called preterite, is used to talk about a completed action in a time before now. The simple past is the basic form of past tense in English. The time of the action can be in the recent past or the distant past, and action duration is not important. Let's have some verbs with their simple past and past participle. Arise, arose, arisen. Bit, bit, beaten. Become, became, become. Bend, bent, bent. Bite, bit, beaten. Notice that some verbs have the same present and simple past, others with the same simple past and past participle, and one with the same present and past participle. Examples of verbs with same simple past and past participle: bend, bent, bent. Breed, bred, bred. Build, built, built. Buy, bought, bought. There are also verbs with different simple past and past participle: do, did, done. Drive, drove, driven. Forbid, forbade, forbidden. Freeze, froze, frozen. There are two verbs here with the same present and past participle but different simple past: become, became, become. Come, came, come. There are a number of verbs with the same present, simple past, and past participle: bet, bet, bet. Cost, cost, cost. Cut, cut, cut. Hit, hit, hit. Set, set, set. Read, read, read. You heard it right. The last one have the same spelling but different pronunciation. Read is the past and past participle of the verb read. There are some verbs with two different meanings despite having the same spelling. Example, the verb hang. One meaning is to attach something in a high position. In this case, we use the verbs hang, hung, hung. While the second meaning, which is to kill someone by putting a rope around his or her neck, we use the verbs hang, hanged, hanged with ed. Another verb with the same spelling but different meanings is lie. First, to put your body in a horizontal position, we use the verbs lie, lay, lain. But if it means not to say or tell the truth, we use the regular lie, lied, lied. This time, let's have some simple past tense in sentences. 1. His brother died last year. 2. Christopher Columbus sailed to America on August 2, 1492. 3. Her mother lived for 100 years. 4. They crossed the English Channel last week. The simple past tense of these verbs are formed either by adding d or ed at the end of each verb. You always use the simple past when you say when something happened, so it's associated with certain past time expressions, denoting frequency, a definite point in time, and an indefinite point in time. Words expressing frequency like often, sometimes, always. 1. I always brought my lunch to work. 2. I sometimes walked home at lunchtime. 3. I always stayed quiet for the duration of the program. Words or phrases denoting a definite point in time, like last week, last year, yesterday. 1. We watched a good movie last week. 2. She graduated in college last year. 3. My aunt arrived from the USA yesterday. Words or phrases denoting an indefinite point in time. The other day, long time ago, ages ago. 1. Philippines was connected to mainland Asia ages ago. 2. The people lived in caves long time ago. 3. I arrived the other day. So these words indicated indefinite point in time. How to form the simple past? In the affirmative form, the subject is added with the verb and d or ed at the end. For example, I lied. Just add d with the verb lie. I slept. Ed was added at the end plus another p in the middle. I purchased. D is added to the verb purchase. To form the simple past in a negative form, the subject will be added with did not or the contraction didn't plus the infinitive without the word to. 1. I did not lie. 2. They didn't leave. 3. She didn't purchase. Note that the verbs are in their present form. To create the interrogative form, did will be added to the subject plus the infinitive without to. 1. Did he arrive? 2. Did she know? 3. Did they play? Notice that the verbs are in their present tense whenever we use interrogative form with did. Interrogative form has also its negative side. This time, instead of did, we added didn't or did not to the subject plus the infinitive without to. Samples: 1. Didn't he arrive? 2. Didn't she know? And 3. Didn't they play? The verbs are still in their present tense. Now this time, we have verbs in the affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms. Examples: 1. I walked. I didn't walk. Did I walk? 2. She stood. She didn't stand. Did she stand? 3. He ran. He didn't run. Did he run? This is how to create the simple past tense of to be, to have, or to do. The subject would be added to the simple past of be, have, or do. Samples. Number 1, I was, I had, or I did. 2. You were, you had, or you did. 3. He was, he had, or he did. She was, she had, or she did. Or it was, it had, or it did. Next, we also have the subject we. We were, we had, we did. Then the subject they. They were, they had, they did. The affirmative of the simple past tense is simple. Examples: 1. I was in Baguio last year. 2. He had colds yesterday. 3. We did our project last night. For the negative and interrogative simple past form of to do as an ordinary verb, use the auxiliary did. For example, we didn't do our project last night. The negative of have in the simple past is usually formed using the auxiliary did, but sometimes by adding not or its contraction not. Sample: we didn't have time to visit the Statue of Liberty. The interrogative form of have or do in the simple past normally uses the auxiliary did. Examples: 1. Did you have a bicycle when you were young? 2. Did you do your homework last night?